absolutely rocked it. I'm sure you've seen her all over the team pages, people interviewing her. So she so graciously devoted some time to our team tonight. She's going to do a quick little thing on her story and who she is, and then we're going to dive right into all the questions that you guys sent over to me and just get really specific on things for you, on what she's doing and how she's doing it. So if you want to take the stage, Tanya.
I started coming up the end of May is going to be my 3 years. When I started, I was working full time. I own my own hair studio. I've got 2 kids. I've got a husband. So I was super, super, super busy. So when people come to me and say, like, I'm just so busy, I don't know how to fit this business in, I kind of snicker because, I mean, I was busy from the time my feet hit the floor in the morning until I went to bed. I think that is one reason that you have to find your why in this business from the very beginning of it. And it does grow, and sometimes it changes as you go through the seasons in the business, but you've got to find one from the beginning, because in my experience, you hit a lot of highs and you have a whole lot of lows in this business. And if you don't have that close to your heart, it's going to be easy to quit and coast, because I did that for a very, very, very long time. So when I started this business, I said I wasn't going to work it. I was pretty much joining to help a friend and get the BOGO wraps and the kit so I could wrap my husband. I had no intention of working it whatsoever. I was extremely resistant to growing my network. I didn't want to accept friend requests from like Megan Hazen or Danielle Janiszewski. Like, my social media was my personal space. So I understand when people come to me with the hesitation of wanting to grow their social media, because it is a personal space, if you will. But to put it bluntly, if you're not going to do parties and you're not going to talk to people when you're out and about, like, I don't like to talk to the cashiers. I like to go through self-checkout and avoid people at all costs. That's just me. So if that's how you want to be, you've got to get over it when it comes to social media. And that's just me putting it bluntly. You have to get over it at some point and learn that that's what you have to do. I was a hater when I started this business. If anyone knows that, like, I really hated hardcore on my friend that I ended up enrolling with. So I guess in that respect, I would say if you have people that start and they start off slow and they start off not really wanting to work, to not lose hope for them, because Kat had no idea that I was going to take this business seriously by week 2 and run with it. So I always was kind of taught for a long time, just run with your runners. And now I think I'm more of no man left behind with my team, that if you want to walk, cool, I'll walk with you. If you want to run, I'll run with you. I don't really dismiss those that aren't matching my effort, because I think it's just like owning any type of a business. If you have a brick and mortar, you're not going to have employees that are going to work as hard as you do for your business. That will never happen. So I don't think you can always expect people to match your work ethic. And quite frankly, it's really, really hard to find good work ethic these days as an employer. So finding someone who wants to run their own business along, like, with us, with what we do, is going to be very hard. And it's going to take some patience on your end to find those people that will take it so seriously.
Thank you, my dear. I absolutely love that, and such a valid point that I think a lot of people miss, is that it is very hard to find the next you when you want this, and it is a numbers game and the patience thing. It is, you have to be patient and you have to do the work, and I just love it. And I love that you admit you were a hater. I think a lot of people
I was mean. I was going to unfollow her. I used to talk so much crap about her, I'm not going to lie, and I literally would tell her to her face. Like, I was really mean about this business, but I don't know why. That's why I don't take the haters very seriously on my page. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It's because I couldn't even tell you why I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too. So just brush them off. It's no big deal. Real quick before we get into the questions, you've been in what, 3 years now? Has it been? And can you just talk, because you said you hosted for a long time, and I think people see when people promote fast within a short period, like, they don't ever see the full journey of what we've gone through. So if you don't mind sharing part of that timeline for these ones.
No, and I get really excited because I did a video or Zoom with Caroline, and I'm happy to do this one again because I feel like when I get on Zooms, I want to touch on this first with people that promote. It's all the excitement of promotion, and I want to get super real and say that there was a lot of crappy times, and it was super freaking messy, and it wasn't always fun. So I don't want to start off just like how amazing it is because it was freaking hard. It was really hard. It took more energy than I had to give majority of the days. So talking about coasting, I enrolled, I saw kind of the vision within the first maybe 2 weeks. And that's only because I wanted a pair of Ray-Bans that was the team challenge. She said, first person to 4 customers gets the Ray-Bans. And I was like, those will be mine. So I got my 4 customers. I kind of caught the vision. It got addicting and I went with it. I hit Ruby and got my Ruby bonus by end of month 2. And then I really saw it. I was enrolling a lot of distributors. I was probably enrolling more distributors than customers for a long time, but no one was wanting to work. So I felt like I was putting in a lot of effort and I would get discouraged. Then I would find some people that would do a little bit of work, still not really matching my efforts. We had, I want to say it was 2 years ago now, when we had the $9.99 promo. And I charted nearly to triple. I was really excited. I felt like this is what my business needed. I was enrolling all these people that I thought wanted it but couldn't afford the $100. Literally, I think all but 2 people quit. My entire organization fell apart. And I felt like I had hit I just kind of fell apart emotionally with the business. I disconnected. I disconnected with the people that I did still have on my team that had enrolled prior to that. It really got me down. I felt like I've invested a long time into the company, long days in training, this, that, and the other thing, and everything came crashing down. So I got in my head a little bit about it, and I just kind of sat and I said, screw it. I'm not helping these new people. I'm not helping anyone get their welfare checks for me placing things. And I kind of had a bad mentality about it, if we're being honest. And I just kind of sat and worked for myself. If people joined me, cool. I'd help them get to where they wanted to go, but not really with the help of myself. Like I wasn't going to help them. And I think that's it. Was there more I was supposed to say on that? I kind of forgot the question already.
No. It was just the timeline, because what I was saying is when people see us promote, they think it's so quick and easy, and that's not always the case. Not all of us skyrocket to the top. Like there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes like this. So she went Ruby in 2 months, and then 2.5 years later, promoted Emerald, Diamond, went double Diamond, and her husband went Diamond next month. So
now let me say this though, there's so many months in between when I went Ruby and when I just started promoting, where I said, I'm going to go Diamond this month. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But there were so many things that I was not doing to help myself get there. It was words, but I wasn't actually doing anything. And I had one of my girls who's pushing for promotion right now actually come to me the other day and say that they're wanting to hit this certain promotion and it's really slow right now. And I said, is it, or are you not putting in the effort? And I am very blunt when I say that, because it's been a slow month for me thus far, but I have not done one host to post. I have not messaged those that like it, that like my posts, just those who comment. You know what I'm saying? There are things that I have slowed down on, just putting a little bit more time with my family, because I sacrificed a lot the last 60 days, if we're being honest. So it's not always a slow month. I'm being slow, and that's why my business is slow. So you have to be, when it comes to promotion months, you have to be so open to criticism from your upline that you're working with, and realize that I may be one way, if you will, in my team chat, but if I have a chat with people that are pushing for promotion, they're getting a whole nother side of me. Because if you want Diamond, for example, if you want Emerald, those are big pushes, and you cannot come at me with excuses. I came home from conference and 3 days later broke out in hives from my head to the bottom of my feet, in my ears. I laid in my bed for 45 days, bawling my eyes out, messaging for host to post. Like, when you want it, you cannot just say, I want it, because every other month that you're coasting, things are fine. When you say I'm promoting, your whole life falls apart. All the things happen and all the things get in your way. And you have to have that mental toughness, I guess, if you will, to just say, not today, Satan, and just keep pushing along with it because, yeah, it's not easy. And it's almost not, it's fun when you are pushing those months with the people that are pushing, but there's days that you wake up and you're like, I just want to catch up on my shows and I just want to spend time with my family. And you just want to go and do all these things or just not work that hard that day. And you're not going to wake up every day motivated. I did not wake up every day for 60 days excited. I woke up tired as hell. I wanted to take a minute, but I just couldn't. That one day could have cost me, That's where the discipline comes in. That's where the lists that I have for myself come in, the conversations I have with my team and the ones looking to promote. All of that has to happen every single day, whether I want to or not. And quite frankly, whether they want to hear from me or not, because I'm sending out text messages that just say balls to the wall, ? If I don't hear back from you, I'm literally not returning your messages for the rest of the day. Like, I'm going, and if you are not all in every day, then you're going to have to wait, and I have to focus on the ones that are pushing. And I don't mean that in a mean way. Like I said, I'll walk with the walkers, but that's just a fact. If I message you every morning, like, let's go, you up, you ready to go? We're going to do a power hour. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. If I'm not hearing back from you, you're basically, I'll return your messages at the end of the day, just like anyone else on my team that wants to coast. That might sound really bad, but I take it seriously when people want to promote. And when you're asking me to help you, I am taking my time away from my husband, my kids, my laundry that piled up for 2 months, like all of the things. I'm taking my time away. So if you're not going to match that and invest the same time, I can't work with that.
And that's how it has to be. And pushes are massive, massive pushes. And it's a lot of work, you guys. And no matter what in this business, we may love this business, but she makes a valid point that you're not going to wake up every day motivated. We don't. It comes down to the discipline of how bad you want it. And I can promise you when she sees her paycheck this month, none of those hard times, none of the sacrifices are going to matter compared to what she just did to her family. And that's the things that you have to remember when you're going for things in this. There's going to be valleys. You're going to hit speed bumps. You just have to keep going and look at the end game. So let's move into the questions. There's only about a handful of them, but I know my team really wanted, because they've been in a lot of your Zooms with the other leaders, kind of get to some of the nitty gritty of what you were doing. The first question was, what exactly did you do differently from a business standpoint from January to March that took your business from Ruby to Double Diamond?
I think I got pretty real with myself. That's where it began, to be honest with you. I think that I always, for a long time, like I said before, there was many months I said I'm going to go diamond. I think I really had to get brutally honest with myself and say, you haven't wanted it. You haven't actually been pushing and working towards it. So what have you not been doing? What are we going to do? What do we need? My mindset had to be ready for it, because I knew if I'm going to hit diamond, I'm going to go double diamond. That is more people coming into my team that I have to be mentally prepared for to coach. I think when you're Ruby and you've got 3 people under you, you're growing in your leadership. And I needed to be ready for my phone to be crazy all the time. I needed to be ready to teach people what to do. And if I wasn't going to learn and find what was working, I couldn't teach it. So mindset had to be right. I just had to say, this is what's happening. I am going diamond this month. Now, what does it take? I will also go back to the last 2 years when I said, all the times I said I wanted to go diamond, I did not chart myself for almost 2 years. I did not ever print out a chart. So that's how I can say you're not taking it seriously. If you don't have your chart and your team that's going to be promoting with you, you don't have those printed by any means necessary. Like, you don't have a printer, go to Office Max. But if you don't have that, you're not serious about it. That has to happen. So mindset was the first thing that had to change. A lot of it clicked the last day of conference for me. And I went back to the hotel and I printed out the new charts before I ever flew out. And I had a stack of them. I was charting on the flight home. Then I think I sat down and really kind of made a list of what I wanted in a leader. If there were things that I felt like from my leadership was missing, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that maybe I need something a little different than what they offer. Maybe I need more shout outs. Maybe I'm that type of person, or maybe I need someone to be a little bit more cut and dry and abrasive with me and push me, if that makes sense. So I needed to write down the qualities that I wanted in a leader. That was the leader I was going to become for my team. So if I was lacking in certain areas, I knew where I needed to pick up. I got with my team individually, which was quite a bit of people, and just said, what is your goal for February? What do you want? How serious are you? Are you willing to, if someone says, as Katie said, I want to go emerald. Okay, I want to see your chart printed. Until I know that their chart is printed, we're not really moving forward. So I touched base with everyone individually and just said, listen, I'm pushing for promotion this month, and I'm looking for people that want to push with me, that I can work closely with and do power hours and things like that. Is there something you're pushing for? So if it was Ruby, if it was Emerald, whatever it was, okay, get your chart out. And by, within the next 48 hours, we're going to set up some power hours. All of those people went from Messenger into, we had each other's cell phone numbers. And I text individually. I don't do group chats when I'm doing promotions, because some of those conversations I think are a little bit more private with where you're at with your team, things like that. We touched base a number of times a day. They got a message from me as soon as I woke up in the morning, like ready to go. Like I said, it was kind of the check-in of who I'm working with that day. I would chart them at least 3 times a day when it comes to volume. We would like swap pictures of the chart so I know where everybody was at, that we were all on the same page with things. I had a leadership chat where I would kind of have them go in and check credit card declines, check in with your team, where are they at with potential distributors, potential customers, how can we help them like seal the deal with some of these things. I got a lot more active in my team chat. Usually for a long time, my team chat was like where people would ask questions and I would answer. And I think I got a lot more active in there. I created, and I don't care if you're an executive or if you're Ruby, you should have a chat just on your own with your team that is separate from, maybe a chat that Rachel has you guys in, separate from whatever other chat. You should have one that's just you and your team where you can communicate. What else changed? Okay, so finding the qualities I think was the most important. Finding the qualities that I wanted to have in a leader and becoming that. That means every single enrollment that my team was having, that an individual distributor was having, needed to be noticed. It needed to be shouted out. I was checking down, and I don't necessarily mean like publicly, just acknowledging I see you. You know what I mean? Like in Messenger, like I see you working. I have highly encouraged all of my team to interact with each other in our team chat, which it kind of sounds like Rachel's chat's very similar to that. We're a tight-knit group and we kind of banter and tease each other and shout each other out, and we help answer questions, all of those things. One thing that I did was I created an image in WordSwag, one that says, so if you're in Danielle's Rockstar chat for April, you know what I'm talking about, but I created an image, one that says I signed a DT and one that says I signed an LC. In my team chat, I had them doing that I want to say in February. So I want other people to see enrollments are happening and motivating each other and sharing how we do the same thing we do in those chats. We do it in our team chat as well. I think honestly, more than anything. So changing the leadership had to come from me. It was shouting out my team and recognizing what they were doing. And I started doing Zooms again. I hadn't done Zooms for my team in probably a year or more. We would interact in our team chat and all. And I might tell them, hey, hop on so-and-so Zoom. But I had not hosted a Zoom. And I think that it's very important that I start doing that, because people join me, whether it's from a live video or from my social media and seeing me all the time. So I think only having the team chat, there was a disconnect between my team and I, just seeing what I'm typing rather than seeing me and hearing me and learning each other's personalities. And it didn't always have to be a training. Sometimes it was just, a first of the month, kind of like a hype. What are our goals for this month? What are we trying to achieve? What worked for me last month? And I do recognition on every single Zoom that I do at the beginning of the month. If there was a promotion, if they hit 400 club, if they hit 1,000, if it was based off number of enrollments, if it was their leadership, whatever it was, I do recognition on my Zooms. That's how I kick every single one off, and people really enjoy hearing their name. People like a pat on the back. They like to know that they're doing well. And I started and I think this was a question of yours, Rachel, and I can elaborate later if I need to. I started my new distributors off completely differently than I have in the last 3 years. We started a boot camp page where we would just add them to it and say, okay, do these first 3 days, 4 days, whatever it was, and let me know when you're done. And I felt like it wasn't personal. So when I got back from conference, and I just don't like it. I don't like sending people and just tagging them in the comments of all of these things, and then we don't talk, and I'm just hoping that they do it. I want to get with them every single day. So as soon as they enroll, they get a message from me about downloading the Connect app and making a list. And I'll send scripts to Rachel, and I'll have her share them in your team chat. Will that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to go through all of them.
So I would send them this little script about getting the Connect app, making a list of people, like their dream team, and who they would ask to be a customer. Then I would help them messaging those people, and then I had a new distributor Zoom that I would have them watch as well. That system for me seems to work really well, just because it's personal. I'm just dealing with them rather than just throwing them in a page and just tagging them, so we've got that connection. And then I check in with them usually, I don't know, hours later, and just see where they're at with everything. We might touch base the next day. I also ask them right off the bat, do you get overwhelmed pretty easy? Because I can throw a whole lot of information at you, because I wanted that when I started and decided to start working. I wanted every Zoom. I was looking on YouTube. I wanted all the things, but not everybody does. And it gets really overwhelming. And then they think this is too much. I can't do it. So I like to put out there pretty much right away and just say, are you the type of person that wants like all the things right away? Or do you need to pace yourself a little bit? Depending on their answer is how much I'm gonna, I guess, give them to do right away, because I don't want to overwhelm them. And then I'm trying to think. And I teach them about host to post within 24 to 48 hours. They know about host to post, and they're doing their own.
So you have your whole team doing host to post, new or not new?
Yep. 110%. I think that host to post is a really good way to give them a quick win. I think a lot of people that come into it, if they're anything like me, I started with 200 people on my Facebook page, and the first 4 customers I got were not from Facebook. That would have taken me a lot longer, to be honest. So I think it can be discouraging. Most people come into this business with a smaller network, and they were never super active on social media, meaning they never interacted with other people. Maybe they were on Facebook, maybe they scrolled a lot, but they haven't invested a lot of time interacting like we do. So sometimes their interaction is low and they feel like they can't do this. Nobody wants anything. So host to post for me is gold, whether they're new or whatever.
Perfect.
One more thing about the new distributors. Sorry. So I did do a newbie chat. So everyone is in my team chat, but I have one that is solely for my brand new distributors right now. And we had a bunch join right after conference. I put them in a chat, and I did every single night. I would send them a whole entire day's worth of posts. So it was very specific. It was wake up, send happy birthday messages. Yes, even if you don't know them. And then the next one would be interact for 5 minutes, and then something inspirational, blah, blah, blah. Hour and a half to 2 hours later, post this. And I'm talking, I am literally writing out the verbiage for the post, sending a picture if there's one required to be with it. Their entire day is planned. Some feedback I got from newbies a long time ago was, I don't know what to post. And then I feel like that's too overwhelming for them because they don't know how to put the verbiage together to not sound like a sales pitch. And it makes my eyes hurt to see like the black, green, and bling pictures and whatnot from Pinterest, like old ones all over their feed. So I'm like, we're just not going to do that. And I'm going to create all of your posts. So that has helped them be consistent from day one, really.
Yeah, we started doing that. We got that from Zoom. Some Zoom we were on, some leader said she did it when she pushed like presidential. So we've got ours going. As you guys can tell, I talked to Tanya before, so we've got some things going on that we got from her. So that is amazing. And I love all of it. I mean, it's massive action as the leader, and that's what it takes for any of us, no matter what level you're pushing for. If you're a brand new distributor and you're wanting to create a team, these are things that you have to do from day one. So thank you for sharing that. The next question is, they asked if there was like a specific script you use with loyal customers because you enroll so many, and what that is, and if it's something you can just kind of go over.
Yep. It's about I only have like 3 messages that I send from beginning of a conversation to sealing the deal. It's 3 messages. That's it. Let me find them real quick. Okay. So here's an example. If I put up a weight loss post or keto coffee post and someone comments on it, like, I want more info, I'm going to like their comment. I'm going to comment back and say, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to message them and say, hey, saw your comment on my weight loss post. Number 1, how much weight are you looking to lose? And again, Rachel's going to get these scripts. Number 2, are you currently eating healthy or exercising? Number 3, do you drink coffee? I don't care if my post was for cleanse, if it was for TFX, if it was coffee, if it was friggin' wraps. I don't care. That is the message that they get. The reason being is because I don't think I can help a customer hit a goal if I don't know what their goal is. So if someone likes a picture of the cleanse because they saw 6-pound weight loss on that scale, 1, I know that's not going to happen to every single customer. So some people might lose a pound or 2. Not everyone's going to lose that many, but maybe that person commenting actually wants to lose 60. That's not going to be my go-to. If they drink coffee, they don't eat super healthy, or they're just starting to exercise, things like that, I'm going to customize it. I do not do 30 BV orders. But it's not only for volume. Obviously, yes, it helps for volume when all of your enrollments are like anywhere between 60 and 118 BV. But I feel like if I sell someone the cleanse or I sell someone just the coffee and they don't like it, they've got a bad taste in their mouth, they don't really want to continue, they think the one product wasn't good, so they're all going to suck. That's what I've learned along the way with people. Some people will be willing to pay the fee to cancel if they're really not loving it. If I get people on at least 2 to 3 products, there's going to be at least one that they love. At least one. So, and in my opinion, I think they're going to get faster results too. So I am always upselling, but it's based off their goals. It's not just to make the sale. So you have to know those things. You have to know whether you're recommending fat fighters. And sometimes, you guys, if someone's like, well, I want, they might make a whole list of things, like they want the wraps and defining gel and fat fighters, and they want to lose 55 pounds. Well, that's not your route, boo. That's not what you need. So, and I have to go over that with them because I want them to have the best results possible.
Perfect.
Okay, those are the first 3 questions. Then the next one, I send so if I recommend 3 things, it's going to have literally a 1-sentence description of what the product is. And then I do not explain the loyal customer program at that point. So it might be TFX does this, Cleanse does this, Fat Fighters does this. Sound good? They're going to say, yes, that sounds good. How much is it? So then I'm going to send them. So all of my Perk Point customers get, and then it gives the price breakdown. It's always a comparison between loyal customer and retail. I show them both prices so they know the discount that they're getting. Um, that's pretty much it. I think it's really simple. If people are ready to order and they have the money in their bank account and not waiting till Friday, it will probably take me 5 to 10 minutes to seal a deal with an LC based off those messages.
Correct. And what I love, you guys, is the simplicity. And I think a lot of us who've been in a while have learned to do this is you take whatever it is and it's the same conversation and over again, but it's dumbed down, and it's obviously to the products that's geared towards them. But if you stick to that template, you will find, like she said, sealing the deal, the turnaround rate for you is going to be quicker unless they just don't have the money. But I will say, on a segue to that, there are going to be people who you're going to have to continually follow up with time and time again. It doesn't always work, and it's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just some people take exposure to this 11 to 21 times before they commit. So know that when you're doing those scripts and these type of things, if they're not committing right then, it's not the script, it's not what you're saying. It's just going to be a chunk of people that is going to take them time. Like, we have customers, it's still 5 years in, and I'm like, okay, literally you've been wanting the defining gel for 5 years. Like, why haven't you ordered? Like, what is the issue at this point? You know everything. So don't get discouraged by that. The second part of that question was wording for upselling. And I feel like, I don't know if you do anything outside of that, but what you just did with the questions, being able to come with a couple products, is that how you typically upsell?
Not necessarily, unless they don't do coffee. If they do coffee, I let them know in parentheses, and she'll see my script on this when I give them like the coffee price, how much that is. And then in parentheses it says, and I have a sale on this today. If they don't drink coffee, or if they're just wanting TFX, like that's just what they're stuck on. At the end of the conversation, I'm going to say after I have their payment info, I will message them back and say, it's giving me a one-time offer. It's normally this price. You're going to get it for $49. I will not be able to get it for you at this price again. Do you want to take advantage of it? I've had people that made it specific to me that they don't drink coffee, they don't like coffee, that still took the deal, because who doesn't like a sale? And most of us just piss our money away, if we're being frank. So they're like, oh, it's on sale, big discount. That's just how it is. So I still do offer it.
Perfect. And I love that you do it when you have their info. Would you say with that about mostly your people you enroll yourself, or do you send them to your website? Because I know for me, 99%, I get the information to do it.
When I enroll distributors, I make them go to my website. I know some people say they enroll distributors. I don't enroll distributors. If you're not going to go to my site and click submit yourself, you're not ready to take this business seriously. So I don't even want to enroll you at all. For customers, I do get their information. If they are hesitant to, I just say, you can text it to me if you don't want to send it in Messenger. But when I send my thing about the info I need, I said, I'm getting orders in right now. I'll get yours in with this batch too, or something to that effect, so they think I'm like sitting there ready to place their order. And it's not really a question. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask them, would you like me to place it for you? Or would you like to go to my website? Like, there's no option. I'm getting orders in right now. I'll get yours in too. Here's what I need.
Yeah.
Most don't ask questions. I did have a couple last month that said that they were going to do it themselves. I sent them my website, but I'm pretty blunt when I follow up, and I said, didn't get the email coming through, girl. Did you get that order in, or you need some help? I don't have all month.
Exactly.
So
yeah, so I have a script too, and it's that, but I put in there, and this works for me, that they can text, call, or email, and I give them those 3 options if they don't want a message, and it's all laid out for them, and I've never had an issue with people sending it through. So the next question for you are, what are your day-to-day activities and power hours? What do they look like?
First thing that I do when I start working for the day is I get my chart out and I start charting volume. Once I am done with that, I will check in with the people that said that they were pushing for a promotion this month, message them, make sure they're ready to rock and roll for the day. I will try and get on a power hour. I do have some people that work, so it's not always possible, but my personal power hour is going to be sending happy birthday messages. What I have started incorporating is I made a image, like a happy birthday image with a 40% off on it, started sending that out, letting people know happy birthday, and I wanted to offer you 40% off of my entire website for today.
I already sent it to my team. I was like, this is amazing.
So I started doing that. So the happy birthday messages, and then I interact. Before my first post of the day goes up, I spend at least 5 minutes interacting on my social media feed.
Do you do Facebook and Instagram or just Facebook?
I do both, but I don't do Instagram daily. I try to do stories on Insta daily, but I don't really post. Some days I just don't feel creative enough for Instagram, to be honest.
I know. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Too much.
So I interact for 5 minutes. There goes my first post. At least 2 days a week, I am very active in people's stories, because when you interact on stories, it goes straight to people's messenger, which has more weight on Facebook for algorithm. So I go and show a lot of love. I don't always just click a heart. I'm commenting something in their story. So interacting before I post seems to be huge, and adding in interaction into stories. You have to be super disciplined with your interaction. When people say to me, I'm not getting a lot of interaction on my posts, but are you giving it? Or have you been slacking off in that area of your business? Are you posting because you have to post? Or are you actually building relationships with people? If you are not interacting, you're not forming relationships, and people will become your customer or your team member when they like, know, and trust. So you have to form those relationships. And I will give you a perfect example is last month, I was late to the game reaching out to somebody about being a customer because she liked my post. And she's like, oh, I just bought TFX last month from so-and-so. Like, okay. She continued to watch me. 3 days later, she became my customer for the quad pack that I was posting about. Week later, she signed up as a distributor, and she's almost charted for Ruby. And she was someone else's customer 2 weeks ago. Now, I'm not going to push that, but I'm not going to turn somebody down. She flat out said how much she liked my posts and the way I worked my business, which is why she made that choice. But that is exactly why having a relationship and building relationships and interacting with people every single day is super important. And it cannot be the same 5 people. And if that means, and I will be very blunt about this, unfollow your sidelines if you want. Unfollow your team. Unfollow leaders. Your feed, I don't mean unfriend, I mean unfollow. Your feed should be your potentials. It should not be half it works people. And I don't mean that in a mean way. If you have a laptop, you can create friends list and categorize your team, leaders, things like that. That's what I do. But to maximize it, you want to see as many people on a daily basis as you can. So you've got to clean that part up. It's not meant to be mean. It's really not. Like I'm trying to be blunt about it though, because if all you're seeing is it works stuff. And so if I see Rachel all the time and I'm going to love all over her stuff, I'm going to see her and 4 other It Works people constantly in my feed, because that's what it's telling Facebook I want to see. Okay. I want to interact with my potentials, and it will, if you do that, it will change your feed like nobody's business. You're going to see people pulling up like, didn't know you were here, girl, but I sure like you. You find new people to interact with. So if you have a computer that you can use, a laptop, something like that, if you go to your friends, it should allow you to create a list. And again, you can categorize them. So each week or each day at some point, I go to my teams to that list and I interact all over their posts. You always see me loving on my team's post. I have sidelines that I've added in there to interact with, and I have leaders that I like to go to their pages. So it's not like I unfollow you and forget you. I just can't have that be my primary feed. Another thing that you can do to see some new things and interact with new people in your feed is if you're on, I don't know how dark this is going to be. If you're on your Facebook, okay, you're on your Facebook, right? If you click on the little 3 things at the bottom where it pulls up your menu, if you click on most recent, that's going to pull up people that have just recently posted, not necessarily the people you normally interact with. You might see some new people in there, so that's a good way to interact as well. Also, I think a lot of us, we go back to our memories. If you click on memories, you scroll all the way to the bottom. You scroll all the way to the bottom. And then it's going to show all the people that I became friends with on that day. Now, those people are probably lost in the shuffle. Like I might not see those people all the time. So every single day I will go to my memories. I will scroll to the bottom, see who I became friends with on that day. I will go to their page. I will like and comment on at least 2 or 3 things, move on to the next one. It is time consuming. The social media aspect of it for me, it's very tedious. But if you don't do it for like a week, you will notice your interaction fall off heavily. So it is something that if you want to work social media, these are just kind of must-dos every single day.
Perfect.
Well, I don't even remember your questions by the time I'm done talking.
You hit them and more, so we're good. But no, that is perfect. That was just on day-to-day activities, and yours is heavily interacting on social media and paying attention to that and building those relationships.
Day-to-day activities. And there we are. I will shout out my team. I track everybody's volume every day. So when they hit 400, they get shouted out in our team chat. Try to do my best to shout them out publicly. So charting is like, gosh, 4 or 5 times a day, probably on promotion months for me. That's a big one. Trying to think what else. Obviously posting and messaging every single liker and commenter. Every single one. If they just like the post, hey, thank you for the love on my post for the coffee. I will take either like I'll share, if it was a before and after picture, I will share that picture in the message. Thanks for the love on this post. I always appreciate the support for my business. Have you been interested in trying it? If they say no, okay, thank you so much for getting back to me. If you ever need anything in the future, I'm here. That's it. You can't take the no's personally, that is for sure, because everyone on my team told me no at some point, and yet here we are. So
what I found is they say no, but then what happens is they start paying attention more, whether they want to or not. It starts to catch them and they come around. So you initiating the conversation is the biggest thing, because number one, you're going into Messenger, and Facebook likes to see that, whether it's 1 or 2 messages, they say, oh, they're communicating, and then your stuff starts popping up in their newsfeed, and then they become interested. So
the other thing is host to post every single day. Every single day was host to post. It was probably sending out, depending on the day, anywhere to minimum 25 private messages on top of a post that I would put on my page about the giveaway that was happening, up to say 50 private messages. So I noticed for myself in March, when I would post about the giveaway to get people to comment to do a host to post, I was not getting any interaction on those. So then I'm going into Messenger, and I have a little script that I would send asking someone to do host to post for me. And I put it like this for my team. If you message minimum 25 people every single day, 25, and only 10 of them post for you, in a 30-day month, you've had 300 host to posts happen. That is massive. And in the 2 months that I pushed for promotion, I don't think I enrolled under 3,000 in volume myself.
Wow.
Host to post is everything. I used to think that working my butt off in this business meant posting all the time and just messaging those people back. If you are not doing host to post, you are not maximizing. You are leaving a lot out there for someone else to message, because a lot of people are doing it. I think that a long time ago, people would send messages looking for product testers, and there were people that would blast those in network marketing for sending private messages. I don't really feel that way. I feel like if you're on my friends list, it's not really cold messaging. I don't catch a lot of heat for it. I've never had someone make a post for me. I don't know if it's just the message I send, and I will share that script with Rachel as well. But I do decide who's going to do a host to post for me and who I'm going to message to be a customer. If I am going to send someone a message to do a host to post and I go to their page, I always go to their page first. If they are someone who only gets 2, 3, 4 likes, they're probably not going to get a lot of interaction from me. It might be a waste, if that makes sense. So I might send them my message about helping me build my portfolio and testimonials. So how I message differs based off what I see for their network. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that's a huge tip that a lot of people are just want to get as many host to posts out, and they're sometimes doing people like you said, they're not paying attention. So I think you being that selective has been a part of your success and the massive explosion you've seen is you very much hand chosen. I think this person is going to get host to post. This person I'm going to go after as a customer and doing that. And I think that's something a lot of us, myself included, skip over because we're so excited just to get
Yeah.
the host to post out there. So that I think that's a golden nugget right there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, anything else for the day-to-day tasks? I know we've getting low on time.
So after doing the host to post stuff, it's really, in my opinion, you should have like a 5-subject notebook at this point. If not, go get one. One of them is going to be your team. The other section is going to be your current loyal customers. You're going to have one that is doing a host to post for you, like the people hosting it, I guess. And I have one section that is the PLCs that I get and what products that we were talking about. So I know who to follow up. When they decide to place an order, they get highlighted. That way I've got my list for the month. Every single Friday, I go back through and I follow up with everybody. My follow-up messages are super simple. I do it on Fridays, obviously, because most people are getting paid. Hey, I'm getting orders in today. Ready to get yours placed? ? That's it. So that's what I'm sending every single Friday. I sit down and do that as well. But getting organized with the host to post stuff is pretty important because people get lost in the shuffle. Also, I don't know if anyone else is aware, but I actually had people doing host to post for me last month that had to message me and say, are you going to message some of these people back? Because I was not getting notifications, even though I was tagged. And I even commented on it and I was not getting notified. Go back to your host to post and make sure.
Something I do for that is I put it into a collection in my saved section on Facebook for posts for that month so that I can always just go back and double check. And it just one tip for you guys just to watch out on that. You can do that and it really helps because it's right there. And then it's just month by month that you have them. So
you get a good interaction on the host to post. I will always go back to the person that hosted the post and say, all right, you've had a lot of interest. Either it's my commission or yours. And I offer them the business. I am very cut and dry about it. I just want them to see, okay, like you have interaction. Do you want to do this or is it just, am I making all your money? Is that how it's going to work? Every single potential customer that I get, I will, once I have their information to enter them as a customer, I will say, have you thought about, or on a side note, have you thought about doing the business with me? If they say, you know, I have, now we are going to continue the conversation of them being a distributor rather than me just entering them as an LC. If they say, I want to try the product first, they're telling me that they are a potential. So I'm following up in a month and going to present the business to them again. So every single person gets offered the business at some point in my conversation with them.
Love that.
Host to post should spin off of each other, by the way. When someone comments on a host to post, I will message them. If they're not ready to order, I'm going to say, perfect. Do you want to get entered into my team's giveaway this month? Kind of give them the rundown to make a post for me, whatever. They say, yes, I've got another post going. Someone doesn't want to order, or even if they do place an order, perfect. Do you also want to get entered into my team's giveaway this month? Perfect. Send them a script. Host to post are always, always rolling.
Love that. Okay. Some of these questions you already answered within the questions they had. One of the ones was, how do you plan out your kick-ass social media?
I made a list of 5 things that define me as a person. That is what your social media should consist of. If your social media looks like quote and before and after and quote and before and after, not going to work. That goes along with the like, know, and trust thing. People like my sarcastic humor. They like hearing about how my 5-year-old is a total hellion. They like to hear about how I don't know how to cook. But I know that I'm doing the right thing when my people on my friends list are tagging me in Target ads and recipe things they know I'll never cook. That's when I feel like, you know, you're working your social media properly, is because people are getting to know you. Whether If you're someone who likes to cook a lot, you should be posting, plating your food nicely and taking a good picture of that. If people should get to know you from your social media within 2 minutes of scrolling, they should know, does she have kids? Does she like this? Does she like that? And get to know your interests. That's a big one. Like me, I have kids. I have a husband. I like Target. We have horses. We obviously like to go golfing. Like people know me just going through my feed. And you have to be open. When it comes to business posts too, and I just went over this with my team the other day, it cannot be sharing a pick your product pack over and over and over again. No one cares. And that's just the fact. No one cares that it's $20. They're probably seeing that on 10 other people's news feeds. How can they relate to you? You taking a picture of your commission card in front of groceries and saying, I'm so thankful for this extra income to help me pay for groceries this month. That is a real life struggle for people. People struggle for that. I've had distributors join my team so their child can have a hot lunch, like an account at school to get a hot meal. Those are real life things. If you take a picture of your commission card in front of the gas pump, that's a real thing. Those are relatable posts in my opinion. The month I went Ruby, it was one post and it was with the daycare bill with my commission card when Kenzie was in daycare. And it talked about how my commissions paid for that week of daycare for Mackenzie. Signed 2 distributors that night that had me fully charted for Ruby. So being relatable in those posts, your business post doesn't always have to be like, it's only $20 to join me. It's not about joining you. What are you doing for them? Whether it's a product post or a business post, you are solving someone's problem. People are bikini shopping right now. So your post should maybe be geared more towards that type of a thing. Skincare to me is something that we don't completely focus on, which I had my team posting about today was a skincare post. People are going to be out by the lake, out at the beach, not a lot of makeup on. Get people thinking about these things. What is the season that we are going into right now? Defining gel is one to be pushing right now with the wraps, whether they're on BOGO or not. Those are some big ones. So getting to know the season, also getting to know your network. If you're going to be posting different things if you are 20 than if you are 60 when it comes to business posts in general, because someone who is 60 maybe cannot relate to wanting to shop at Target or have extra money for a night out. Maybe for them, it's a vacation. You know what I'm saying? It's traveling or, something to that effect. So knowing your network and how you can post to relate to them.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So for somebody who is not Facebook savvy or who is, used to sharing, how would you suggest that they go about starting to post?
I kind of like just give my team posts when they first start out. So they just kind of post what I send them. I think from day one, I don't just have my team, if they're a brand new distributor, I don't have them just throw up like I joined It Works and yada, yada, and just start posting pictures. Usually I give them one post to put up on day one, and that is their why. That is what they have to post, because I'm going to show them from day one how to be vulnerable and how to be relatable and to not be afraid of it. So their why should be their first post. Why are you starting this business? Get real, get open, because people watching you want to know that. If they just see you join this business, come make money with me, they're like, okay. Do you see what I'm saying? They want to hear your story. They want to read what it's all about. So I teach them that from day one. Every day they're forward. If they are not at any place in the company yet, meaning maybe they haven't ranked yet, maybe they haven't even gotten a paycheck yet, talk about where you're going and what it will do for you. Did that answer your question?
Yes, babe. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, to wrap it up, the last 2 questions is about your time organization, just being a busy mom of 2 and everything. How do you organize yourself and find the time?
I'll answer this in two different ways. When I was working full time, I worked mostly evenings, so I would pre-plan my posts. So for those that are on that have full-time jobs and you're super busy, I pre-planned everything. I would have an album in the photo section on my phone that were for the next day's post. Before and after, I was going to use quotes I was going to put up, anything like that, selfies, whatever it was. I pre-planned all of my posts in the notes section and then had an album with all of the photos I was going to use. I did that every evening, and I also sat down twice a day, usually when I got home from work and again before or right after dinner time, and I would send out messages to all the likers and commenters and make sure I touch base with everybody. Now I work all day when the kids are at school. And time organization, I don't know if that's like actually a real thing, to be honest. Some days my kids just take up all of my time and I don't have all of the time I'd like to dedicate. So we just kind of find where we're going to squeeze it in. Some days this last month, I was getting up at 5 a.m. and guys, I mean at 5, but I had to because they sucked the life out of me the night before. So I don't think it's always completely manageable in a set schedule because life just throws you curveballs and things change day to day. You just have to make a list of all of the things that you need to do for your business and what things can you do at what times of the day. I think pre-planning posts is a pretty big one. I think that helps us stay on track. I make daily lists for myself, weekly lists, and monthly lists too. And I think that helps being organized. I have my 6 list, which is pretty generic stuff like charting and happy birthdays and posting and yada, yada. But then I've got my weekly stuff. Like I'm going to go live this week about whatever topic it might be on. I need to do shout outs this week and make sure that my team's getting recognition. Each week I have goals for myself on how many distributors and loyal customers I'm going to sign. This is posted up wherever I go. Like it's in, whether it's in my car, if it's on my fridge, my bathroom mirror, like I can see it. I see my goals every single day and I can see, okay, well crap, it's the 10th and I haven't done jack. It's time to up my game, but I see it every day. It's a reminder. Yeah, so for time management, you just have to find out what you have to get done. What are you missing in your business? Like, what are you lacking on doing if you're leadership or if you're just a distributor trying to enroll customers? Find out what you need to be doing and when you can work that in. But pre-planning posts was my biggest thing. Weekly and monthly goals. So weekly goals for me would be how many maybe customers and distributors that I want to enroll. And if I want to do something out of my comfort zone, like a live video, I might put that down. I always have like a volume push. If I have a volume push I'm doing for myself, I extend it out to my team. Doesn't always mean like team giveaways, but I might say, you guys as a team, we're at 10K. Who thinks we can hit 15 by end of month? I update them daily on where the team is, and that keeps them pushing and excited. I do, let's see, for a weekly thing, I do flash giveaways for my team too, flash challenges for them. Sometimes it might be a 48-hour challenge, you know, the first however many people to get 4 customers. I did where you can buy, I think it's like 30 or 40 of those t-shirts, like I bought those. They get some of those right now on the It Works site. I think under the sale, you can get bracelets, you can get the WTF towels. I ordered that stuff, just some swag that I can give out to my team. And I've done cash gift cards too. So different goals like that I know I want to meet, that maybe my team needs a little bit of boost. Monthly goals is typically volume and or promotions, and it doesn't mean it's always my promotion either. Sometimes it's for a team member that I'm working super closely with too. Everything's different every month depending on where I'm at in my business. I'm not looking to promote this month because I'm not ready for triple yet. So my goals are a little bit different. It's not promotion. Mine's going to be customer sales and volume. Also, to go along with social media, I will say that your posts need to align with your goals. If you are sitting here at the beginning of the month, you're wanting to chart for Ruby, you want to chart for Emerald, and you don't have all of those boxes filled, your social media should be primarily looking for distributors. Then I know that I can do, plenty of before and afters for posts the rest of the month, but then I can really balls to the wall with doing host to post too. So make sure that it all aligns together, your social media with your goals.
Well, perfect, my dear. That pretty much covers all of the questions. You answer them somewhere within all of this. So we are going to hop off the show me the money call.
Family call.
That's it. What freaking day is it? Is soon. So I really thank you so much for taking the time. You're an absolute rock star. I love you dearly, and I'm so appreciative of you spending time with our team and giving us all these golden nuggets and everything you're doing, and you are just the best. So
Thank you.
All right, I'll have this uploaded, and probably when I get the kids to bed, I'll send you the recording, and then at some point before I go to bed, I'll send you all the scripts. If I leave something out, just let me know which one you're looking for, and I'll get it over to you.
Okay, perfect,
Cool.
my dear. Thank you so much, team.
Thank you.
For being on tonight. We really appreciate it. So
You're welcome.
catch you guys on the call.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you. Yeah.